Right, today's project is going to be running the overflow for draining the tank and putting a line in for filling the tank. I'm also going to be linking the skimmer's waste into the drain and an air tube for the skimmer to fresh air outside. So I'm going to be having a pipe in this corner which will suck the water out and fill the water back in. It's going to be run down the external of this tank here, down low, in through the wall, down where the RO pipes come in and out. So there'll be new holes through there. These are some of the fittings I'm going to be using. So I've sort of laid them out how they're going to be. So this is going to be on the outside of the wall. This is going to be for the pump, to pump water back in through the same line as the drain. So this is what all these valves are for, so I can divert the water. This is going to be for the skimmer waste to go onto, again with a valve. And a valve going up and then into the tank. And this is going to go straight into the gutter or waste pipe outside. And this is all the piping. So I've cut a couple of bits, but I'll be cutting the rest of it in a minute until we record all that. Right, I'm going to drill through the wall with this pilot bit first, and then go through with a 22mm, and the pipe's 20mm. So we're going to do two holes next to each other. Alright, so two holes drilled through. So left hand one will be for the 20mm waste pipe, and the right hand one's going to be for the airline for the skimmer, to get fresh air for the skimmer. Alright, I'm just using these pipe cutters for cutting this pipe with. So you should just clamp it on, a little spin, and that's it, cut. So just making some, just doing some dry fitting in a minute. So this is for the valve for the skimmer to go onto this. So that's going to sit probably at an angle under here. No, it's going to be something like that, I think. So I need a bit more pipe. It's like something like that. Alright, so gluing some of these bits together. Just a bit of PVC cement, the pipe. A little bit inside the fitting. And give me a little wiggle. Make sure it's the right direction. Wipe off the excess a little bit, and that's it, glued. So I'll set in probably about 5 minutes, probably not even that. Just keen to do that to all the other fittings. Well, I've glued together these sections. So that's the valve, obviously that's going to be the waste for the skimmer. Onto the little barb there, with a valve, and through the wall. There's another valve going up to the tank, which would be the line to fill and to drain. So it goes up to there in a minute, and obviously I've just got to join that a 45 bend across the tank to this side, because I want the drain on this side where you can't see it from the other side. So if we go around, so at least from this side, from the front, you won't be able to see the drain line behind the weir. So we get that in now. Right, plumbing's all done on the inside. It's all clipped up, double-sided foam on the back of the clips. Elbow ready to take the inside part. Here's the inside part all glued up. So I'll leave it out of the tank for now, let the glue dry. We'll get that glued on tomorrow. Let's go and do the outside part. Right, that's the plumbing on the outside done. So twin valves. One with a flexi hose which goes to the pump to the salt water mix in this container, which will be changed to something else soon. And obviously a valve down into the waste, or into the drain pipe. So when I want to drain the tank, this valve will be open to allow water to pass down into the drain, but not go up into the salt water. And then the valve on the inside that goes to the tank will be open, so when that's full of water, it'll siphon itself, because it'll always contain water in the pipe. And obviously when I want to fill the tank, this valve will be closed so the water doesn't get pumped into the drain, and then this one will be opened and it'll pump water back the other way. That's my idea anyway. Right, the pH is at 8 and the external air line's connected, so we'll leave it a bit and see what it goes up to. Right, the pipe work's all in on the inside now, it's all glued up. So there's the strainer over the top, down to a valve, then T to outside. Right, so now the pipe was all empty, so now I've got to start the siphon. So this pipe will always be full of water when I turn the valve off, ready to go for a siphon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this valve up down here, which leads to the tank. Make sure the one to the skimmer is closed. Now the one to the drain's open at the minute, but I'm going to close that first and open the one to the pump, because basically I want to suck this pipe and get a siphon started so the pipe's got water in it. So we'll do that, and once water starts coming out, I'm going to stop the water, close that valve, and then that pipe's full of water then. Right, so this pipe's got water coming out now. So that's tank water. So what I'm going to do now is shut that valve off, and then the water will be in that pipe. Like that. So it's not coming out. And if I shut this valve, then basically there's always water in this, ready to start the siphon. So let's start the water change. Right, so now to empty the tank, is to open the drain line valve to the drain. So open that one. The pumps are off. Just wait till the water goes down a little bit more to the fill line. It's still going into the sump in a minute. And then when I'm happy that stops filling the sump up, open that valve and it should start draining. Right, open the valve and see if it works. Yeah, it sounds like it's doing something. So that should start dropping, which it is. Well, it's taken about 4 minutes to drain that, so turn the valve off now. Now we're at the mark. Okay, and that'll stop the siphon. So next time I want to do it again, I just open that valve again and it'll self-siphon again. Right, let's go and connect the pump and start pumping it back in. Right, so the hose is on the pump ready. So basically what I want to do is shut the valve to the drain so we don't pump salt water into the drain. Open up this valve so we can pump water in. Like that. Drop the pump in. Just wants to float a minute, but when I turn it on it'll sink. So we turn that on now. And again inside to pump into the tank, turn that back on. It's pumping water back in. So in and out the same hole. Now beeping's just my heater because my heater's out of the water. So once it's filled up again, we'll shut that valve. It's ready to go for next time. Right, we're almost up to the fill line. So it's getting ready to turn that valve off. And we turn the pumps back on again. So turn the valve off now. So just turn the pump off outside, just not keep pumping. Shut that valve off. Open the drain one again, just so when I drain again it's there. That's it. Turn the pumps back on. Alexa, turn the pumps on.
Okay.
And that's it. This is that. That's a 10% water change done in less than 10 minutes. I decided to leave the skimmer one closed just in case for any reason it decides to pump water out and empty my tank. But when my skimmer cup's getting full, I'll open that valve and that'll drain it straight into the drain. Then close it when I'm done. And there's the waste line for the skimmer behind, which that's where I've emptied some out before. So it sits a bit in there, but when that fills up, I can drain it and that'll suck all through that hose and out into the drain. And then there's the airline one going up and outside. And my pH is now sitting at it's about 8.2. So ignore the temperature from here, this is where the heat has been on with the subfull. So they'll cool down in a minute. Yeah, 8.2 rather than sitting about 7.8 or maybe even 8. So obviously the airline has helped. Well, I know there's not much in the skimmer cup at the minute, but this is what it'd be like when I drain it. So it's like that now. If I open this drain here, you should see it all come through. There you go. That's it. Shut that back off. Skimmer cup's empty. Now, in case anyone's wondering, obviously running the skimmer waste through the same pipe as I'm putting fresh water back into the tank through. I'm only ever draining water out of the tank first, so obviously that'll flush the pipe through to the drain before I ever put salt water back in the tank, so the water in the tank will always flush the pipe out. So there's no worries about putting dirty skimmer water back into the tank. Yes, that's it, water change done. Nice and simple. Chances are with it being automated as much as that, it's a bit more likely it's going to get done rather than dragging buckets and hoses everywhere.